So let us study about the a very new, very interesting quantity which is known as electron spin. So first time I am going to introduce the word electron spin. So naturally people will started to think compare the atomic structure with the structure of solar system. So solar system, Earth or every planet has the orbital velocity, orbital momentum. In addition to that, which causes the year, 1 year or years, 365 days orbital period. Then we know the Earth also undergoes spin motion, which causes the day, which is 24, nearly 24 hours. Okay, so people compare to the solar system with the structure of the atom, and many people just simply predicted or postulated electron is having a should have a similar spin, but there were no scientific evidence or explanation for that for a long time. And finally, we have some idea and explanation for the spin of the electron. So historically, many works done with the assumption that electron is having spin, but no, nothing, no proof came at that time. So, on the basis of quantum mechanics, we can clearly define what is spin, is there is need of spin, and what are its effects like that. We know our present wave function psi is depending upon wave function means a particular state of the electron. Okay, so that particular state psi, uh, we have already learned in the last section that it depends on three quantum numbers n, l, and ml. So this is what we represented: n orbital quantum number, n principal quantum number, l orbital quantum number, ml azimuthal quantum number, which is a function of x, y, x, t, and or rt like that. Okay. So this each quantum number actually represents 3 degrees of freedom. Means three sets of values for n, l, and ml. We have 3 degrees of freedom. Each quantum number represents a particular degree of freedom, a degree of single degree of freedom. Now, with these three quantum numbers, some phenomena are failed to explain. Some physical phenomena they could not satisfactorily explain by with the these three quantum numbers. Okay, they are: one, fine structure of the spectral lines, means if you look through a highly resolving power and a very sophisticated method, you can see that a single line in the spectrum is again is a combination of few spectral lines. They can be splitted. Okay, that splitting is known as fine structure of the spectral lines. Then to the normal Zeeman effect or Zeeman effect. Even though we explained the Zeeman effect with some semi-classical theory, quantum theory we have not used. So according to quantum mechanics, it is not possible to explain Zeeman effect with the help of 3 degrees of freedom or three quantum numbers. Also the anomalous Zeeman effect, which we found in the case of sodium D2 lines. Okay, So etc. There are many phenomena which again needs explanation, and at present, with this, whatever we studied quantum theory could not explain these phenomena. Okay, so uh, at one stage, two young scientists. So it was very clear that the present theory needs some modification. Something is wrong with the present theory, so, or some additions are required for the present theory. And at one stage, two young scientists, their name very important, Uhlenbeck and Goudsmit. These two young scientists, around the age of 26, they proposed a idea. Okay, they said that in addition to the 3 degrees of freedom, you consider a fourth degree of freedom, which is nothing but the spin. If you consider the spin of the electron, the fourth degree of freedom, okay, then these phenomena can be effectively explained. And actually, this spin, even though its name is spin, it is not actually the rotation about the own axis. Okay, then why the name spin is given is a historical reason, because I already told you that many people were searching for the spin of the electron. So historically the name is retained, but it is not actually the physical rotation. Okay, so it is not, don't think that it is, but at the same time this one will having all the properties of this angular momentum. Okay, so this is, assume that electron is having spin angular momentum. Okay, so it is a, they said that this is an intrinsic quantity. Intrinsic quantity. So it is like charge of the electron. Charge is an intrinsic quantity. Is there any reason for charge, electronic charge? No. Every electron is born with a electronic charge, 1.60 to 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Is there any reason for that? No. So that electronic charge is an intrinsic property. Similarly, spin is also an intrinsic property. It is not due to any rotation. It is an intrinsic property. Okay. So they introduced uh, spin s as value half. They said, without any reason, they said you take the spin angular momentum s as half, then the above all phenomena can be easily explained. And many scientists asked why you uh, took it as half. They have no reason. They could not explain that at that time. They said that you take s equal to half, then everything will be fine. Okay, so many time people accepted this s equal to half without knowing the actual reason, and simply accepted s equal to half, and they could explain many of the phenomena. Okay, and finally, after some more time, Paul Dirac introduced uh, relativistic quantum mechanics. Dirac combined the theory of relativity, special theory of relativity, along with the quantum mechanics. That is known as relativistic quantum mechanics. And as a result, he could prove that the spin is a integral part of the theory, or the spin exists. He theoretically proved that the spin angular momentum exists and it is an integral part of the system, not only for electron, for all the elementary particles, the spin angular momentum exists. Okay. So this is the history of spin angular momentum. And if you, one more reason for not considering it as a rotation is that if you consider the electron as a sphere, okay, then if it rotates with this much of angular momentum, corresponding to half, there is an angular momentum, then a point on the surface of the sphere will move faster than velocity of light. So that cannot be allowed. Velocity of light is the maximum velocity. So surface point of the electron can move faster than light. If you accept this spin as the physical rotation. Okay. So spin is not a physical rotation, but it possesses all the properties of angular momentum in quantum mechanics. Okay. So at the time being, you simply understand that every electron or every elementary particles possess a additional degree of freedom, fourth degree of freedom, spin angular momentum. If you accept that, we can easily explain the above mentioned Zeeman effect, anomalous Zeeman effect, etc. Okay. So Dirac theory was in 1929. In the year 1929. Okay. Now, so we can take almost all the results compared with the orbital angular momentum. Spin angular momentum is similar to the orbital angular momentum. So for orbital angular momentum, we have studied L equal to root of L into L plus 1 H cross, where L is the small l is the orbital quantum number. Okay. L equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay. Similarly, we can consider the spin angular momentum also. S equal to, capital S equal to root of S small s into small s plus 1 H cross. A similar equation. I am not going into the, don't ask me why you are taking like this. I am simply taking this, comparing with the orbital angular momentum. I told that this is an angular momentum having all the properties of angular momentum in quantum mechanics. Okay. So here small s is only one value, half. Here L can 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Here small s, this is small s, this is capital S. Okay. So small s, this one can have half, only one value, which is the electron spin. Now, as so, if you put the s value s equal to half here, what will be, so half plus 1, that is 3 by 2. 3 by 2 into half, that is 3 by 4. Okay. Now this is root 3 by 2, like something like root 3 by 2 H cross. So if you put S equal to half, this will be root 3 by 2 H cross. Okay. This means nearly, this is root 3 means 1.7, something like that. So 1.7 by 2 is like 0.8 0.86 or something like that. Root 3 by 2 is near to 0.86. I think it is 0.86. You just calculate. Okay. Now, as before, L is space quantized, S is also space quantized. Okay. So you apply magnetic field. So this is the value of capital S is 0.886 H cross. Okay. So you apply magnetic field on the Z direction. Okay. Then you have space quantization of S will happen. We have studied already the space quantization of L. Similarly, space quantization of S. So S can have only two possible values. One is this one and another is this one. Okay. This is 0.86 H cross. This is also 0.86 H cross. Okay. So you can draw a figure like this. Okay. And the component of this, so the S, capital S, becomes space quantized in two directions. One is in this direction and one is in this direction. Okay. Now the component of this S along the Z direction, we call it as MS. So here MS equal to plus half. So here MS equal to minus half. Okay. So corresponding to the space quantization, we get the magnetic spin quantum numbers as plus half and minus half. Okay. So we have already written Lz equal to ML H cross. Okay. In the case of orbital angular momentum, similarly we can write, so ML can have the component values of L, minus L to plus L, differing by unity. That is the ML values. Similarly, you can write SZ equal to MS H cross. Okay. And here MS will have two values, where MS equal to plus or minus half. Is that clear? This is orbital angular momentum case. Comparing with that, you can write spin angular momentum. Z component of the spin. So this is capital S and this is MS. Along the component along the Z direction is the MS value plus half and minus half. Only two orientation is possible. Two orientations are possible. So we have MS equal to plus half and MS equal to minus half. So this is the expression in the case of spin SZ. So magnetic spin quantum number MS can have two values, plus half and minus half. Okay. So we can write HZ equal to plus or minus half H cross or plus or minus H cross by 2. Okay. Now, so remember that I am simply taking the results from the orbital case. Orbital angular momentum results, I am simply applying to the spin angular momentum. Okay. So difference is like this. This expression is same, but S value is half. So here also correspondingly MS can have plus half and minus half. Okay. Now another thing we have learned is the gyromagnetic ratio. Uh, in the case of orbital angular momentum, what was the gyromagnetic ratio? 2 mu by L. It was minus E by 2m into minus E by 2m. This was the orbital angular momentum gyromagnetic ratio. And the calculation shows that, so you can call this one as mu L. Now you can call this, you should call this as mu L, because two magnetic moments will come. So we can call mu S by capital S equal to, okay, calculation shows that this gyromagnetic ratio in the case of spin is double that of orbital case. So you have to take multiply with the 2 here. So this is equal to minus E by m. This 2 cancels. Okay. Don't ask me the reasons. I am simply saying some of the results. Okay. Just compare this, but we are not changing the same expression, but taking the double of this value. Okay. So we can write mu S equal to minus E by m into S. Okay. But we know that SZ is, now you can write what is mu SZ, is Z component of this one, mu SZ. Okay. So that is equal to minus E by m SZ. Take the Z component, here also Z component. But we know that SZ is, we have already written here, SZ is plus or minus half h cross. Substitute here. So this is equal to minus E by m plus or minus half h cross. Okay. So you can write mu S equal to mu SZ equal to, this minus into plus or minus becomes minus or plus EH cross divided by 2m, which is nothing but the Bohr magneton. So minus or plus mu b. You can write minus or plus mu b. So is that clear? So we have introduced the idea of spin. So with this much, this is nothing but the Bohr magneton, mu b. Okay, it can have minus and plus. So the introduction of this fourth degree of freedom could successfully explain the above mentioned effects, Zeeman effect, anomalous Zeeman effects, etc. So this was a great discovery, and we should thank to the Uhlenbeck and Goudsmit, two young scientists, and later to the scientific theory made by Paul Dirac. Okay, so Dirac was also a very genius. When you will understand that when you learn the relativistic quantum mechanics later, you can identify that Dirac was also a very genius person like Einstein. Okay. Uh, Finally, I told you that this spin is not only for electron, but for all other elementary particles, proton, neutron, etc., all elementary particles possess spin. All elementary particles possess spin. Okay, and actually the spin divides the entire particles into two. that you may have studied the spin half integral spin particles. um their study belongs to the Fermi-Dirac statistics, and integral spin zero or integral spin particles like photon light, our light particle photon. Okay, such particles, their study belongs to uh, Bose-Einstein statistics. So the entire study of the statistical study of the all the particles in the world is actually determined by the spin, whether it is half integral or integral. Half integral means Fermi-Dirac statistics. Integral means Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay. Now another uh, feature is that, similar to the introduction of spin, later some more quantities are introduced like isospin, something related with the charge space, charge of the particle, isospin. Then strangeness, etc., or color, like that. Many things are later introduced, not for electrons but for some other nuclear particles or their components. So this was the beginning of introducing additional degree of freedom, spin. Okay, so let us study one more phenomena, which is not phenomena but Pauli's another principle, which is Pauli's exclusion principle. So after the successful introduction of the spin, so many people started to learn, do experiments in many ways, and we have 4 degrees of freedom, that is N, L, ML, and MS. Okay, principal quantum number, orbital quantum number, magnetic quantum number, spin quantum number, magnetic spin quantum number. This is magnetic orbital quantum number. This is magnetic spin quantum number. This is just we studied now, MS. So we have 4 degrees of freedom. So each one will have their values. We know N equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. L equal to uh, 0, 1, 2, etc. up to N minus 1. And ML, similarly, ML will have minus L to plus L, differing by unity. And MS, we just studied plus half and minus half. Okay. So you take any system, hydrogen atom. When you take hydrogen atom, we have only one electron. So when you take helium atom, we have two electrons. So for a two electron system, you can see that N is same, L is same, ML is same, and MS is plus half and minus half. Okay. So for hydrogen atom, only one electron is there, so N is having one value, L is having one value, ML is having one value, MS is having one value. But for helium and higher heavy large number of atomic number atoms, each electron will have a unique set of these four quantum numbers. This discovery was mainly by this Pauli, okay, from Vienna, Wolfgang Pauli, in May 1925. Vienna is a place in Austria. So Pauli made a very detailed study about these quantum numbers. So all these scientists are was the co colleagues, or not colleagues, at all these scientists, Dirac, Pauli, Einstein, All these people lived in the same era. Okay. So when you see the Solvay conference photograph, you can see that all these scientists were present in a group. They used to debate about the different aspects of quantum theory, and they got encouragement for a further research. So there was a very healthy competition between them. So each people started to work very vigorously, and Pauli discovered that if you consider a system with a large number of electrons, for example, you take a atom with a large atomic number, he found that each electron will have a unique set of these four quantum numbers. That means each electron, no two electrons will have the same set of quantum numbers. For atoms to be stable or electron to exist in an atom, at least one quantum number should be different. Okay, so we know that n equal to 1 is first orbit, n equal to 2 is another orbit, second orbit. Like that, uh, L have different values. So two electrons in different states will have same L value, but N value may be different, ML value may be different, MS value may be different. Like that, each electron will have a unique set of four quantum numbers. No two electrons will have same set of quantum numbers in a system, in a closed system. For example, in an atom or any system. Okay, so this principle was known as Pauli's exclusion principle. And what is it was formulated by Pauli. What is this exclusion? He said that if such same set of quantum numbers happens to any electron, two electrons, one electron will be excluded from the system. It will not be allowed to stay inside the system. Go out, electron. Electron will be excluded from the system, from the atom. That means you think positively, each electron should have a unique set of quantum numbers. Or think negatively, that is, if it happens like that, that electron will be excluded from the system, rejected from the system. Electron is not allowed to have exist inside the system with the same quantum numbers, same set of quantum numbers of the other system. Okay. So I am not going to the reason for this. So I will a detailed analysis of spectral studies revealed this idea to Pauli, and the principle is known as Pauli's exclusion principle. It states that no two electrons in an atom can exist in the same quantum state. Same quantum state. So you give the values for one set of values for this, that is a quantum state. You give another set of values, that is another quantum state. Only the principle says that no two electrons, not two electrons or three electrons. No, two electron means three electron itself. Also, it is valid. No two electron in an atom can exist in the same quantum state, which is specified by these four quantum numbers. That means each electron in an atom must have a unique set of quantum numbers N, L, ML, and MS. Okay. So this Polish exclusion principle have wide applications, not only in atom, not only in atom, not only for electrons, for any elementary particles. This can be applied. Uh, this has a wide application in star also. When you go to the end of a star, some neutron stars are formed. Okay, due to the electron degeneracy pressure, like that. Electron degeneracy pressure. These are some ideas in astrophysics, uh, which is the reason for the existence of neutron stars. When a star dies, the neutron some stars changes into neutron stars. The neutron stars also live for a very long time, and the reason one of the reason is the Pauli's exclusion principle. So later it is found that it is widely wide. It has wide applications. Okay, thank you. So we will study the Stern Gerlach experiment also, which actually proves the existence of spin and the space quantization due to spin. Okay, so this was in 1922. Two scientists, Stern and Gerlach, experimentally demonstrated the existence of spin angular momentum and the space quantization due to the spin angular momentum. So what they did is they took a oven in which silver atoms can be evaporated. Okay, so they have an oven in which silver atoms can be evaporated, and it will come silver atoms. What is speciality of silver is silver is having its atomic number. You check the atomic number of silver. It will have a single unpaired electron. Okay, the outermost orbit have only single unpaired electron. So these electrons, see if the orbits are very closed, then we cannot see the effect of spin. But since due to this unpaired electron, that electron exists as a single in a single person in an atom. Okay, that its effect can be seen, may be seen when you apply the magnetic field. Okay, so the electron silver atoms are coming from the silver vapor atoms are coming from the oven. So this is an oven. Okay, you heat the silver material, so silver atoms will come out. Now you using a collimator, you make a narrow beam. Okay, narrow beam of silver atoms. Then you apply a non-homogeneous magnetic field along the path of the silver atoms. So in order to apply non-homogeneous magnetic field, what you have to do is you have to shape the pole pieces like that. You make one pole like this, north pole or south pole like this, and another pole like this. Okay, south pole. So this is a magnet. This is also a magnet. So their pole pieces are suitably shaped so that a non-homogeneous magnetic field is created. So when the pole pieces are simply parallel, you get a homogeneous magnetic field. When your pole pieces are shaped like this, we know that flux lines are in not in an ordered direction, so that you get a non-homogeneous magnetic field here. Okay, so the silver atoms are subjected to non-homogeneous magnetic field, so that you can keep a screen here, either a photographic plate, or you can use a detector. When you can see that when you switch on this magnet non-homogeneous field, you initially you can have only one line or one spot you are getting on the photographic plate. So or a detector this is a non-homogeneous magnetic field. Okay, so after applying non-homogeneous magnetic field, you can see that the beam gets splitted into two. One beam goes like this and another beam goes like this. Okay, so this is undeflected beam. Many atoms go undeflected, but you are getting additional spot of light uh, at 2 points, which later confirmed that due to the plus half h cross and minus half h cross. Okay, so we have already studied the theory of spin. SZ is ms h cross. Ms is having plus or minus half h cross. Okay, and there is a magnetic moment due to this spin angular momentum, which is the mu s. Okay, uh, mu s equal to mu s by s equal to minus e by m into s. Okay, now this magnetic moment is subjected to the non-homogeneous magnetic field, so that it experiences a torque tau equal to mu s in cross b, or b sine theta. Okay, so this torque actually deflects the electrons, one in plus in the downward direction and another in the upward direction. Okay, so this experiment is reveals the existence of spin and the space condensation. So the reason for two spot of lights is plus half and minus half h cross. Okay, so that is historically very important experiment, the Stern-Gerlach experiment. Okay, thank you.